Good evening, folks. I've had trouble coming. I don't write a script for this stuff, and I've had trouble coming up with this video tonight. This is my third time trying it, so I'll try it again. Um, I'm I want to get across to folks when you have a job and you are ready to leave. If you're truly ready to leave, just let it go. Um, a lot of folks, and especially in uniform services, the police and military and things like that, um, it becomes an identity for them, and it makes it difficult to retire and let it go, and you end up staying really longer than you should. Um, for a lot of times, the agency or the organization, and for yourself, health wise. Um, I think it's hard for you for some people to realize that your job is just a job. It really is. You are not that profession. You are not that organization. You are not that business, that agency, that military branch. You are you. You're an individual. And just because you were part of something like that, you can be proud of it. And as I am, and as you should be, if you did the right thing and did a good job your career. And but when it's time to step away, it's time to step away. And to hang around years past your expiration date because you don't have an identity outside of it, to me that's sad. And you shouldn't. You should strive. You should work to make connections outside of your job, because them people you work with, they might be good friends and things like that, but them people you work with are not your friends. They could be work friends, they're nice enough, but you leave, I take it from me, from somebody who's had some really good work friends and thought you'd be like that. You leave and you don't ever hear from them, and it's not that they're being ugly, it's not that they're mad at you, it's just people have lives and you move on. um, a lot of us think, especially if you put your heart and soul into your job, you think, well, when I leave, this place is going to fall apart. It won't be able to function. I promise you, that place will function without you. Not being ugly. And I've had to tell this to people I worked with before that, you know, dude, it's time to hang it up. And I appreciate your effort, uh, everything you've done. Um, but it's time to go. It's time to let go. Enjoy your life. Do something you want to do. Now you may think you want to be at work, but you don't. You want to be there because of the identity it gives you sometimes, and that's really sad. You know, uh, you should make connections outside of work, whether that be friends, hobbies, um, different things, your grandkids, your family. Um, for me, work was very important. A lot of people, family first. Well, I can't afford my family and all without this job. Especially when I had kids, 3 kids, and this and that, and house payments and everything else I had going on at one time in my life. So I worked a lot, way more than I should have, and not. I think as previous video, not for sea doos and boats, it was to pay the bills. And you know, I think it's just difficult for a lot of people just to, when you get to the point where you are, when your kids move out and you got a little more time, a little more money, then you kind of lose your purpose. You feel like you do anyway. You feel like, well, I don't have the kids depending on me no more. I don't have, you may not have a wife depending on you anymore, depending on your situation. Um, and you're kind of looking for a purpose, but your job cannot be your purpose because your job does not care about you. Your agency does not care about you. I don't care what they say. They say they do. They say you're a big family, and the whole in the police, situation of the police, the whole blue thing, but when you leave, you don't hear from them people. You might hear from one or two, but for the most part, you don't ever hear from nobody, which is fine. Um, I think when you leave, you expect to. You think, well, surely they'll call me and we'll go eat lunch and we'll hang out. But people have their own lives. They've got things going on. They don't have time for that. And other than one or two people, in my case, really, there's one person that from my previous organization that I still talk to. He's my best friend, but he actually left in 2008 for a executive job at another agency. So he hadn't even been there. We just been friends this whole time, and he's awesome. And we'll talk about friends in another video. But if you looking for a friend, he'd be one you'd want. But other than that, I had some people you ride in the car together every day for 5 years, working cases, traveling all over Florida, day and night, tense situations. And you think, man, we're tight. And your last day, they'd give you a ride home, and you may talk to them every 2 years for a few minutes when they need something, and you're not mad. I mean, it's just, he's got a life. I got a life. I don't call him either. But if I'd have left and felt like my whole identity is wrapped up in that job and that agency and that business or whatever you do for a living, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you leave. And what you do for a living is just a job. It's what you do. It's not who you are. You have to find an identity outside of it, and if you don't, you're going to have a hard time with retirement. You're going to have a hard time with leaving, and you're probably going to stay too long, and it'll be a detriment either to the agency or yourself, health-wise. And I think it's something you really need to give some thought to. And it's not just the police. It could be any kind of job, that people have. That's just my only experience. And I think it happens more so with, like I said, uniformed agencies such as the military and things like that. But I guess the main thing is find some interests, find some people, find some identity outside of your work, because you're going to need it. Your time's going to come when you can't be there no more. Those places can operate just fine without us. And despite what we like to think sometimes, they were there before we were there, and they'll be there long after. You just do what you can while you're there to make it better, make a difference. But find you some purpose or some enjoyment outside of it, and you'll be much happier when it comes time to leave. Tonight I'm smoking a Villager. I can't even run on my glasses. It's terrible. Maybe you can see it on there, but it's pretty good. Let me see my glasses. Let's see. It's a Villager Selecto. Had this a while. I smoked this when I first got them, probably a year ago, and I wasn't crazy about them. They've been in the bottom drawer of my humidor, And tonight I was looking for something different, and I said, I wonder if it's in this bottom drawer, and it was these guys. And I never bought into the whole aging thing, but dang, if this thing isn't better than when I smoked them when I got them a year ago. So there's something to that. I've seen people talk about it that know more than me about cigars, and I didn't really buy it, but apparently there's something to it. So there you go. Learn something new. We're going to be headed to Lynchburg, Tennessee. We're going to the Jack Daniel's distillery, my wife and I, in a few days. We'll be up there for over this weekend, and I'll try to make a video or something while I'm there. But you guys know of anything to do there besides the distillery or from the area or anything, let me know. Says we'll be looking for something to do. The only thing we got on the agenda is the distillery. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to that. I really like Jack Daniel's products. I really like that new the one with the blue label. I think I showed you one night out here. So anyway, looking forward to that. Got a few more subscribers. Don't have a whole lot, but I appreciate every one of y'all. And if you're not subscribed, if you like what I'm doing here, please do. If you have any comments, suggestions, even criticisms, let me know. As I said before, I don't do any editing really. I really don't have time for it. I just kind of think of stuff while I'm going to and from work sometimes and decide to talk about it, because if I'm thinking about it, I'm sure somebody else is. But anyway, I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in, and let me know if you have any comments or any ideas for this weekend about what to do in Lynchburg. I know I've heard there's not a whole lot to do, but main thing we like to do is hang around the house. We rented a house on a lake, so maybe that's what we'll do, just hang around. But I appreciate y'all listening tonight, and I'll talk to you. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. Maybe I'll put a short video with bought some Redbreast and Irish whiskey, and maybe I'll try that on here and let you know what I think of it. But anyway, y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow probably.